Matt,
What's up?
we're live. We're live.
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's Thursday night. What is the date? It's May 1st. That they call that May Day?
May the 1st be with you? Is that a thing?
No, dude, that's May 4th. You get that? May the 4th be with you. Yeah, but it's May 1st. This is episode 30 of the InfoSec to Insanity podcast. It's been a couple of weeks since you and I have gotten together.
Yes, sir. Been busy. You've been busy. Good to see you.
See you too, man. Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago was the cruise for me. I think during the podcast time, I was somewhere in between Costa Rica and Panama, maybe. And then
just so everyone knows how great of communicators we are, I was here ready to do the podcast.
Really?
When you were there, I got on. I was like, he said he might or might not be, and I was waiting. I'm like, oh, okay.
Sorry about that. All right,
no,
so
it's all good.
You were ready. You could have done the show yourself, and then last week you were at the NFL draft.
Yeah, I drove up there.
Where was the draft held?
Lambeau Field, the mecca of football.
Snap them says hello.
Snap, snap.
Snap, snap, snickety snap. All right, so where was it?
At Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. There was there's a lot of
Green Bay.
A lot of BS about this whole thing because the Packers have been trying to get it for a while, and no one could think like Green Bay's infrastructure could hold that many people because Green Bay is a small city. But they partnered with all the other cities, and there's buses, and they like rerouted all the streets and stuff, and there was 600,000 people there, and the population is like 90,000.
Wow.
It was pretty crazy.
You made it in and out of there alive.
Yeah, I did.
Was it a good time?
It was good. We had vendor passes, so we weren't outside and with the normies. We were in a hotel eating good.
What's a vendor pass? How did you get a vendor pass? Are you a vendor? Were you selling something?
No, one of our partners that we already engaged with was hosting an event.
All right.
So they're just like, hey, come. I was like, okay.
You know, it's NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs, and I don't know what his official title is, but vice president of sales or something, Drew.
Don't you guys got a special thing with the NHL?
Drew Bookie. Yeah, there's like 5 teams maybe we do security stuff for. And so in exchange of doing security stuff, it makes us like some kind of vendor, and then they put our name on stuff, I guess. But the Minnesota Wild flew Drew out to Las Vegas like 2 days ago for Game 5 of the NHL. That's
cool shit.
Yeah. I didn't know we had like season tickets to some of these things. So like, I guess I don't pay attention. So like, for Christmas, I bought my kids tickets to the Vikings-Packers game.
That was not a good game.
Well, it was a great game for us. Yeah. But I went and bought these tickets, and then somebody at FR Secure said, hey, we got tickets. I'm like, all right, then that's cool. To leave them for somebody else. So
it's cool when you're already partners. It's gross when you're not a partner and they're trying to give you that stuff. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I won't go. Well, and I don't go to a lot. I don't like going to a lot of sporting events because I don't like all the shit that goes with it. You know, the parking, tons of people. People are usually talking smack about something. I have to wait in line. I have to wait in line to go pee, and then as I'm standing there peeing, somebody's peeing on my foot. You know, somebody spills a beer on me. It's just like, man, I'd rather sit at home on my own couch, chill, and just
Lambeau's still old school. They have a trough.
So you have to pee next to people and like look at them. Like, hey, nice what? Nice.
Yeah, like you jam in there. Like in winter when it's like, below zero, everyone's got their shit on and yeah.
Oh, man. I'd be peeing all over everything.
It's an experience. All
right. So it's been 2 weeks since we talked. And, I went on the cruise. That was really fun. We went to have you ever been to the Panama Canal?
I've not. Did you go through it or did you like just visit it?
Just visit it. I don't think they'll let me through it. No, it's no, it was cool, man. Panama, I'd never been to Panama. The Panama Canal was cool. I thought, you know, I don't hold things back. I thought Panama itself, this town called Colon, I thought that was a shithole, to be honest. It was kind of sad because I don't know, it shouldn't be. But then Costa Rica was sweet, man. I made some good friends there already. I'm going to go back down there just from that one visit. You know, it shows like when you're cool with people, you know, treat people with respect. And I mean, in like 4 hours, made I think, a pretty good friend. And I'm going to go back down there and probably stay down there for a week just to check it out more.
Dude,
Costa
I'm
Rica was
in.
cool. You want to
I'm
come?
in. Yes.
We can go
My
scuba diving.
my old boss said Costa Rica's awesome, it's beautiful, but he wouldn't go back. I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta decide for myself. Um, I was actually looking at that for a trip. You know, there, Belize, like, where should I go?
Did you already pay for that live aboard scuba trip that you're going on?
It's not a live aboard, it's a resort, but it is a whole dive vacation, like 14 dives all included. Most of it's paid for, not all of it.
All
That's
right.
at
So I'm thinking about doing one. I think I'm about doing one in at Southeast Pacific. It wasn't that expensive. I didn't buy it yet, but to get there, it would be like 36 hours to fly, you know, with all the stops
okay.
and everything.
I've done that before. Send me a link. Tell me what's up. I'll figure out a way to go.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not that
down like
expensive. So
Chinatown.
we have a question. I can do a live chat with y'all. So we typically just do the live chat right there on YouTube, but we could figure out a way to get you in like a private live chat, I suppose. I mean, we are technologists, are we not?
We are technologists.
I mean, I can hack things. You should think I'm
You
cool for
are the
that.
boss man. You do run the Riverside thing.
Riverside thing.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get to the topic. The topic for tonight or this episode is, you know, what are you built for? And this came from, I mean, I've always kind of thought this, but I had a conversation with a guy on the cruise, you know, an older, wise man, I guess. And he said, and we're just talking about things and how important it was. He brought up how important it was to do what you've been built for. I thought about that. And I mean, I'm fortunate. I think that I do feel like I do what I've been built for. I feel like there's a purpose behind what I do. I feel, I mean, so what gets you up those days when you like don't want to get up and you don't want to do anything? It's the purpose that gets you going. But in my past, man, I mean, I was a cashier at, I guess my first paid job ever was a cashier at a convenience store in western suburb of Minneapolis. I was a cashier. I was a stockbroker because I thought I wanted to be rich. You know, this is like the late 80s. So I thought, man, I'll be a stockbroker. Those guys are all rich.
Okay.
So I went past my series. Yeah. So while I was in college, so I went to college on a swimming scholarship. I swam at the University of Minnesota like 60 pounds ago. And while I was there, I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to do. And I kept getting, if you don't choose your major after a while, I guess you lose your scholarship.
You have to like declare it.
Yeah. So my advisor, so when you're, I don't know what it's like in all schools, but in Division I schools, athletes get like, you get to enroll for classes like 2 weeks before everybody else. You have academic advisors, you have tutors, I mean, they give you everything to like make sure that you can fit in your studies with, you know, everything else that you're doing. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, you know, for a living. I was too busy swimming and partying. I drank a lot. And so the academic advisor said, you know, was on my ass constantly and then said, you know, kind of put her foot down and said, you need to declare a major or you're going to lose your scholarship. I'm like, okay, what are my options? You know, she said, well, you haven't done any, you know, prep stuff. So she created a list of things that I could major in and not, you know, screw things up. So I went back to my roommates, you know, and like, help me pick something, you know, and we started going through the list. And when I got to geology, one of my roommates said, oh, dude, I know some guys in that. That's awesome. I'm like, tell me more. And he's like, when you go do your field studies, like you spend all day, you know, chipping through rocks and everything, and you party all night. You drink all night. I'm like, all right, sign me up. So that's what I declared for my major. Right. which, useless, but I learned some stuff. And then, between like my junior and senior years, I took the summer and studied to pass my Series 7 and 63 and became a stockbroker, which then I got a job as a broker. I mean, my job was to make cold calls, 100 cold calls a day, trying to talk people into buying. There were two penny stocks I was selling at the time. One was called Apogee Robotics, and the other one was CE Software. So that's what I tried. Well, then that sucked
You
because it
still
was
tell
straight
the
commission.
difference between two different kinds of rocks if you look at it, like pick them up. Like this
Yeah,
is this kind of rock. That's that kind of rock.
They look different. So yeah, they're different rocks. You want more than that? Most of the time I was drunk, man. I don't really know. I didn't know that they are rocks. We threw rocks a lot at each other.
Just put them in a bucket or something.
Yeah. Because it did get boring, when you're out there in the middle of nowhere, drinking, and you'd make games out of rocks. But anyway, so I was a stockbroker making 100 cold calls a day, straight commission. Not my thing. So I quit doing that. Then I was a bill collector, a mortgage broker. It's funny, when I was a mortgage broker, one of my coworkers was Sandy Stevens. I don't know if you ever know who Sandy Stevens is, but he was an All-American football player back in the 60s for the Gophers, back when they were actually good. Yeah, that was a long time ago. He passed away anyway. So I was a stockbroker. I was a warehouse worker. I was a bartender. I was a bill collector. I was a loan officer, like I said. I think I already said that one.
Played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, Sandy Stevens. Yeah, he was really
when they were in Super Bowl II.
Yep. Yeah. So I did all these things, man, and it sort of happened by chance. I mean, if you believe in such things, I don't really believe in chance. I believe there's like a purpose behind everything. I was managing a warehouse at the time, and they were implementing their first ever computer system. And I grew up with computers at home, because my parents were both technology people. So I felt comfortable around computers. I broke a lot of computers mostly. But the best way to learn how something works is to break it and put it back together again. And so when they were putting in this computer system, just kind of came naturally. And then they were going to cut my overtime. I had 10 hours a week of overtime. So that was really significant. So I was like, screw this. I'm out of here. I'm not going to work here anymore. Well, the IT guy, I guess CIO, you would call him, but not now. I mean, they didn't have CIOs really then. But he said, you really have a knack for this computer thing. Would you like to come join IT? Sure. Sounds good.
That? Sign me up.
Well, I knew what it was, but I thought I didn't know how to get into that, or nothing. And then I got fired from that job because I fell asleep because I was drinking a lot then. I fell asleep. I was configuring a SCSI card. You know what a SCSI card is?
Heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
All right. Well, a SCSI card is just an interface. Like you have PC.
Like a video card that just slides into a slot?
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. But back then you had to configure it with dip switches. So it was just a little component on the board, on the circuitry, and you'd flip the dip switches to configure it correctly. And usually you were configuring interrupt channels, right?
Yep.
So the SCSI card they were putting in wasn't going to conflict with other, components on the motherboard. And I was tired, and those things were so damn slow. So you'd configure it, and then you'd wait for it to boot up and test it. And so I fell asleep, and the president of the company walked by while I was sleeping. Yeah, so that got me fired. So I don't really ever consider that to be my first paid job. My first paid job was working at IBM, cleaning boot sector viruses off of Windows 3 machines. A lot of them. Like, I think all told in the time I was there, probably 47,000. Yeah, because boot sector viruses were kind of the thing then.
Was monitoring that.
Right. So it wasn't, in terms of technology, it took all of that, all these things to happen before I kind of started to feel like I figured out what I was supposed to be, and, there was you didn't call it security jobs. They were just IT, but security jobs sort of evolved out of that, I guess, somehow. And here I find myself, running a few companies, but
on
it's
journey,
funny.
But you learned a lot on your way.
Right. And and I use every single bit of that in my job today, when I talk to salespeople, I really respect what they do, because making 100 cold calls a day, when I did, that was a pain in the ass, man. It was a lot. I had a lot of respect for people that do sales the right way. When I say the right way, you never take advantage of somebody. You don't overpromise things. You got to sell something of value to somebody at a fair price. So, but I think the point is, so I also have 5 kids. So my 5 kids, I had one kid in particular who wanted to be just like his dad. And he put so much pressure on himself to try to be like me. And it finally dawned on me, like, dude, stop trying to be me. Be you. You have to find what you're built for, do what you're supposed to do. Don't try to do what I'm supposed to do. I mean, I'm flattered by it, because it shows that you, I think, respect me and love me and stuff like that. But you got to find what you're made for. Now, my youngest kid, and this is kind of what drew this out even more, she's 20, and she doesn't know what she wants to do at 20. Is that wrong? Or is it, hey, don't worry about it, just go out and try something?
Do you think schools, society, fake influencers are putting undesirable pressure to need to figure it out now?
I think we've done this for a long time, man, because it's like when you wanted me to declare a major, I was 18, 19 years old. I was in no position, mentally, mature wise, to tell you what I want to do for the rest of my life. That's a really deep decision. And nowadays, I mean, and I was on scholarship. I can't imagine if I got to pay for that. I got to pay $50, $60, $100,000 to pour my life into a line of study that once I get into it, I may be like, oh my God, what the hell did I just do? And then you're stuck with it. Maybe, unless you have, I think, the balls to change.
50, 60,000 more for another semester.
But do you even need a college degree? I think if you're good at what the hell you do, and you found your purpose, I think that's one of the misconceptions, is you need a college degree to do this job, or to do most jobs. You don't, right? Obviously, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a CPA, I mean, those things, those professions require, a degree, but lots of jobs don't require a degree. Or if you really found like what you were built for, make your own damn path, So it's weird. That stuff all kind of comes out. And then you see it all the time in our industry too, where most of the college kids or younger folks that you talk to that want to get into this industry, it's all about pen testing.
Yep.
I want to be a pen tester. Really? Do you know what that is? Well, yeah, it's, you get to hack stuff.
Play with Kali Linux. Yeah.
Right. And the last thing I want in anybody's hands is somebody with lax experience and who's lazy with Kali Linux sitting in front of them.
With the full tools to do, they don't even know what.
Right. It's really dangerous, to have that. So let's say, you want so badly to be a pen tester, and you start getting into it, and you're like, man, I'm just not finding the fulfillment. Maybe I'm good at it. Maybe I'm not. Did anybody tell you that there's like 1,000, 100,000 different types of jobs and positions in this industry that don't require you to be a pen tester? Well, what is it about, in your opinion, Matt, what is it about the appeal of penetration testing that makes so many kids want to do this? Why do they think that's the way in?
This is my opinion. The pen testers, that market is oversaturated. So there's a large portion of them that are just on social media, either complaining or talking about how cool it is. They're the smart techie ones, so they'll also make YouTube channels. They're basically reaching out to that group of people, and all the other parts of the industry, sales, the actual practitioners, things like that, we're fucking busy.
We don't need any more damn pen testers. I don't know. Is anybody going to stand up and like tell them?
I
Like,
tried
hey,
telling, so
we don't need any more.
I'm on the advisory board for UW Milwaukee for their IT program. I've been there 3 times now. I keep telling them, stop teaching them pen testing. We need to teach them how to communicate, ask questions, and network. And they're like, yeah, but like that's what they want to learn. Okay, so like we have to fix this problem. Like if you really want to help them, giving them a skill that I don't need isn't helping them, even though that's what they want. Like you need to listen to me, not them, because they're dumb.
Right. Well, I like what Snap Them said. They say, I believe I was made to help people out, but it's still a journey. And I think I do. Maybe it's a little bit pie in the sky thinking, but I think everybody was built to help people out. It's just, how do you help people out? In what ways can you help people out? What ways can you serve people? I think inherently that's in a lot of our DNA, but I think a lot of people don't act on it. I think, other things get in the way, like selfishness or greed. Because that's what I do. I mean, I agree. The information security industry is a service industry. That's what this is. And when I say service, that means serve people, protect people, help people, tell people the truth. Don't tell people what they want to hear. Yeah, that's a funny thing too about like this, the word love. It gets thrown around a lot. And what love is not, love is doing what's in the best interest of somebody else. That's love. Putting somebody ahead of yourself. That's love. So then when you see somebody doing something that's maybe destructive for them, a loving person would say something, right? It's not love if you let somebody just destroy themselves. And I say that because there's a lot of people, I see around who are afraid to tell other people, I can't say anything, to them about that really poor choice because
It's
I
a
love
career
them.
limiting thing, is what they think.
Yeah. Well, or because I love them. I accept them how they are. Well, they're fucking killing themselves. I mean, you don't accept somebody how they are when they're doing things that are, bad for themselves or other people. But on the service thing, that's what we do, right? So on penetration testing, I don't, because I've obviously done penetration testing a lot, I would do penetration testing for the benefit of whoever I'm doing penetration testing for. I wouldn't do penetration testing just because it's cool, because it's fun. Those are hobbies. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was talking to a person today who, it was weird because sometimes people will just call you out of the blue that you haven't talked to for a long time. And this person reached out to me on LinkedIn, and you get a lot of LinkedIn messages. But what stuck out was this one was, I'm a penetration tester, and I'm struggling with like, how do you do the work you do and stay true to God? As people know, I'm a Christian dude, but that doesn't mean everybody. I mean, don't take that out of context. Meaning, you don't have to be a Christian to be a good security person. Um, you don't have to be a Christian to serve Christians. I mean, whatever, any of that shit. I just thought it was an interesting question, so I sent her my meeting link, and I said, here, just schedule a time that's open, and we'll meet about it. And we talked today, and I started with like, who are you? Where did you come from? What made you think of me to reach out with this question? And she said back in 2001, I did some free training for WISIS. You know what WISIS is? The Women in
Women in
Cyber.
cyber.
Yeah. And I kind of remember that. I guess it was like a networking class that I had given. And she was in that networking class. And I don't know, something must have resonated or something. And been following or something. And she got a job in the industry on, kind of on a blue team, so for people who don't know what blue team is, blue team's defense, red team's offense. Yeah. So, and now she's starting to do some red teaming. But one of the things she was struggling with is just how uncomfortable it is to be around where she's at. It just seems like there's a lot of fake. There's a lot of like, because there's a lot of in the pen testing culture, right?
Posturing.
Well, there's posturing, then there's also in the pen testing culture, it's kind of like a counterculture. So it's in some places, right? So it's kind of cool to have like badass stickers and really cool tattoos and shit. Not for the sake of having a tattoo, because I actually like tattoos, but a tattoo because it's like badass. It's like you have this persona. And I think that's part of what draws, some of the younger crowd into penetration testing is the persona, like, oh, you're badass. I mean, you get to do sneaky shit and, that nobody else knows how to do. I mean, it's just super cool. But she was struggling with some of the symbolism, in her office, because some of the stickers that people put on their laptops are pretty offensive, to some people,
Mm-hmm.
like Satan ones or, just because it makes you badass. Like, don't fuck with
Yeah,
me, man.
it's like video game type shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, don't fuck with me, man. I'm badass. It's like, really? You're not.
I have a sticker on
And
my laptop that says Bueno Squad.
I don't think I have any on my laptop right now. I have some
That's
on
your
my
sticker. Super Bueno? Yeah, that's your sticker.
Super Bueno. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super, super good. And then I have another one, your amigos, your ego's not your amigo.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a lot of stickers. So she was just kind of like feeling uncomfortable about being in this, and I'm like, just be. I think a lot of people who work, not just in our industry, but I can speak about our industry because I'm in it, but I think a lot of people go through the motions and try to like fit in places that you just don't fit. You know what I mean? You change who you really are to try to be somebody you're not. And we struggle a lot in this industry with like imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
And I remind people that you will never be the best at anything. You'll never be the best pen tester. You'll never be the best CEO of a company. You'll never be the best father. You'll never be the best husband. You'll never be the best anything but the best you. Because all those other things that when you're saying the best, you're comparing yourself with somebody else. And it's always subjective. Does it make me the best pen tester if I can, hack into the Pentagon and do something stupid? And who cares? Right. So you go after these things that I think are fleeting and you lose track of who you really are and what you were built for. I don't really struggle with that. I think most of it is because my upbringing as a Marine Corps kid and being an only child.
Rah rah.
Yeah, because I don't. Most of the stuff I do, I don't really give a shit if people know about it. I don't want them to know about it because it means more meetings. It means more attention for me. So I'd rather do my things, provide my service, and then go sleep well at night. Don't do it for fame. Don't do it for ego. Don't do it for money. Do it for purpose. That's the saying. If you focus on the mission, you'll make money. If you focus on the money, you won't make the mission. That's really important to remember. And I'm living proof of that. I have money. I have lots of money. It's all mission driven. I sleep well every night knowing I never took advantage of anybody to get here. Whereas if I would have put money first, I would have had plenty of money. But the fact of the matter is I would have never been fulfilled with having that money because I never served the purpose of why I was here. And I know I would have taken advantage of people to get what I had. So you kind of have this shallow existence, in my opinion, this shallow existence when you don't find your purpose and live your purpose versus this fulfilling experience. Because if you're serving your purpose, and that's what I'm driving for and everything, any money I get, man, I'm happy about it. I'm content. Because that's the thing about being rich. Rich doesn't have anything to do with how much money you got. It has to do with how content you are. Getting pretty deep tonight.
Content. I struggle with that. I
Content?
don't know. I don't know if I am or I'm not. I struggle with connecting with the internal emotions, or maybe I just don't want to accept the answer and I just continue to battle it. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that shit out. I go to therapy for that.
Therapy's good. And I'm still trying to figure that shit out too, man. When you preach this stuff, it's like, don't think for a minute that I got it all figured out. I have parts of it, I think, figured out. I definitely have purpose figured out. And I wish there were more people that would go through life doing what they were built for, having a purpose, as opposed to just going through the motions and just existing. There's like no zest. There's no fire in their belly and doing the shit that they do every day. Do you see that?
I agree that that's what people should, or they have the opportunity to find that, and don't stop until you find it. One thing I struggle with, like, I overprocess information. Take information from a lot of sources. And I have some people that are like, you're in the military. You already did your service. Get paid. I'm like, yeah, but like I want to help a company or like I want to help people because it's not hard. Like information security is not hard. It's just all about making decisions and informed. So I had different path, right? I started out. I mean, what did I do? I cut grass, I babysat, did some manual factory labor, then joined the Marine Corps, went to college, and boom, I was right in right after that. Started IT, got promoted to security 6 months later because I just kept talking about it. They're like, maybe if we promote him, he'll stop talking about it. So ever since then, that's what I've been doing, and I've been learning, continuous learning along the way.
Oh yeah, I mean, 35 years in this industry, man, I'm still learning. There's always, and I kind of like it was Monday. I had a curveball sort of thrown at me, and it was at first I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I was trying to figure out how to solve it, and it came down to like one of two things. Because another thing I've learned over the years is the best decisions I make are usually where logic dominates versus emotion. So the first news I heard, I'm not going to give you any details because I can't disclose.
Sensitive, sure.
I can't disclose it. But the first reaction, most people would have had a very emotional reaction to it, and would have probably, I mean, if you would have made a decision at that point, it would have been probably a really wrong one and you would have regretted it. So then you're like, okay, what the hell is going on? And then you come to like, okay, it's either this or it's that. And then I got to go on this information gathering exercise. Like, what is it? Because I have to find the root problem, which took a hell of a lot of work. But yeah, I mean, and I still haven't figured it out, but I feel like I'm much closer. But the point in all of that is this is another learning exercise. I mean, you would think I've seen it all. Bullshit. You'll never see it all. I mean, the only way you could have said you've seen it all and say that would be if you've given up, I think, or, you're just living in comfort. Like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Because just open your eyes and look around, man. There's always shit going on and stuff to learn. And I think purpose helps me with that too. And it's interesting that you had somebody tell you the advice that you were in the military, so you already served. Now it's time to get paid. It doesn't. I mean, just because you served once doesn't mean you stop serving. I mean, what the hell is that? Maybe you'll get paid more, right? I mean, which you should anyway. The fact of the matter is, at least in the private sector, I don't know, and probably to some extent in the military too. The better you serve, the better you fulfill your purpose, the more you're going to get paid. It's just that comes with the territory. I mean, you could be the best at, not like I said, you'll never be the best, but like be really, really, really good in any area of any profession and you'll get paid.
You'll work up the ladder. You'll get
Yeah.
acknowledged.
And another thing I get as a benefit from serving my purpose is a sense of confidence. Like if I lost my job today, all right. Yeah, I don't want to lose my job, but I'm so into what it is that I do and I'm so devoted to my purpose. I think it's not going to end my life or anything. Purpose is a really big deal. And I think a lot of pushing kids or pushing young people, we have been probably for many years, to make really critical life decisions at an age when they're not prepared to do it.
I would agree.
My
I mean, I
opinion.
think they can make a decision. I think maybe it's just the message, right? Like your life is just starting. This isn't a life decision. It's a decision.
Right. Well, let's say you made the wrong decision because I think that's important. What do you do if you're in a job that this isn't fulfill my purpose? And sometimes it's not the job that should fulfill your purpose anyway, maybe. Your job shouldn't be your identity, I don't think. You've got other things. You've
Yeah,
got
that's a
family.
problem I
You've got,
have.
I think a lot of people do. We spend so much time, at work that becomes our identity. And so if you're not fulfilled at work, well, then I'm not fulfilled anywhere. I mean, trying to get that shit figured out. But let's say you made the wrong career choice. I mean, you are doing a job that you just hate doing. You don't get any fulfillment out of it. You don't get paid well. It's like, but I'm stuck. What would
I
you
think a
do?
lot of people are stuck and they just stay stuck. I think our system does not equip or encourage people with the tools to get unstuck. I think everyone has the capability. I just don't think they have the tools. That's why we have a influx right now of coaches and that whole thing, motivational speakers and all of that.
Do you think it's tools or do you think it's this fear?
I
Because
think
I
they
think,
go together. I think fear lives in a trunk that's locked and they can't let it go unless they unlock the trunk, but they don't have the key. They need to speak to the right person at the right time to give them the tool to unlock it. And some people are just never ready. Some people were born ready.
yeah.
Some people find it along the way.
Yeah. Cause I would think like, I try to say what I would do, and try to like imagine, I'm 54 years old now. Let's say I wake up and I'm like, what the hell have I done? I pissed away the last, 20 some odd years or whatever in a career that sucks. I'm missing out on life. The fact of the matter is like, you ain't going to get another one. This is it. You know what I mean? So try to make the most of it. I would assume. I mean, that's how I feel. So what would I do? Well, I'd have to change, I think. But what would keep me from changing? Fear, probably.
The big excuse you will always hear is money.
Okay,
I need
but
money to move. I need money to
even
pay
that's
the
rooted in
rent.
that.
It is. It's your relationship with money.
I think. Well, I think there's so many people that are so married to the shit that they have, their lifestyle, the same lifestyle, by the way, that I would be complaining about, where I'm lacking fulfillment, is the same lifestyle I'm afraid to lose.
That's the
You know
same
what I mean?
lifestyle that probably would fulfill other people too, right? So it's
Well, I
all
think
context.
it is all context, and I think there's like this idolization. I don't know if that's even a word of comfort.
I prove it being a word if it's not.
There you go. Of comfort, right? Comfort is my idol. I'm comfortable. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to take chances because I might be uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Taking risks is uncomfortable. I mean, there's a lot of, at the age of 54, getting out of bed is uncomfortable. Getting an erection is uncomfortable. I mean, you want to be honest about uncomfortable. That's it. So here's, and maybe it's a mentality thing. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I'm just throwing out what's going on in my mind. Fuck it. I was not born. I know that ain't my purpose. I was not born to be comfortable. That was not my purpose in life. There's no way in hell I'm going to serve people well by being comfortable. Are you shitting me? Especially when most of the people that I end up serving are people I don't like. I love them. I don't like them. There's a big difference between those two words.
I'm going to give everyone listening a tool. I did this.
Tool.
Yes, it's a tool. I did
A
this
tool.
transformational leadership
You're a
course.
tool.
I am a tool.
Me
I'm a
too.
whole Swiss Army knife. And the tool is, you're saying fear, you're stuck, whatever. Give yourself a mantra. What the fuck? Go for it anyway. That's your tool.
And I get it. I mean, when I started FR Secure, I lost my house not long after I started FR Secure, and I had 4 kids at home. My wife broke my car, so I only have 1 car, and she'll say she didn't, but she totally broke it. So 1 car, losing the house, no business coming in the door. And the reason why I didn't go, and I left my last real job, I mean, I was getting paid with stock options, everything, probably close to $400,000 a year. This was back in 2008. So, you're making good money and then it's all gone. The choice is I could have gone back to work for somebody, but that would have not fulfilled the purpose. The last thing I wanted, and I remember having this discussion with my wife because, it's important for her to be on the same page with me as we're going through this together. It's, I think I would really, 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 really hate like 30 years from now to look back and wonder what if I would have stuck with it? Could I have made it? Could I have made something happen? Could I have made a difference in people's lives, either my employees or the people I serve? Could I have done it? Could I have done it? Or did I give up because I was weak or afraid? Because what it taught me is my identity is not in my house. My identity is not in how much money I make. My identity is not in the car I drive. It's not in any of that stuff. Even today, I remember when we moved into our house down here in Mexico, it's a big house, much bigger than we need. It's expensive, a lot more expensive than we need. And we were sitting here and we were watching the sun set. And I asked her, I said, would you still love God if you took this away from us? She's like, yeah. I'm like, me too. Because my purpose isn't this fucking house. My purpose is not how much money I've got. It's not my truck. It's not my dogs. None of that is my purpose. And I think taking that to somebody with fear, and I can give you some examples of people who came out, who stepped out of that fear and made career changes. And they're fantastic examples. Meg Perron, Meg, probably. She's the director of the Security Studio Academy. She was a high school principal or something. I don't know. I never paid attention in high school. I don't even know what they call those people.
Didn't you hire her, though?
I did hire her because she stepped out, man. She wanted to change careers. She realized that she was in a purpose that wasn't her purpose, that there's something different. And she's 60-something years old. I'm like,
that's ballsy.
It is ballsy, man, but that's what it takes to serve your purpose. I would much rather step out, change careers, lose my house, lose all my possessions,
dog,
and not have to maybe not the dogs, but you can. I could take Violet on the road with me. Homeless people are allowed to have dogs, but I guess it comes down to like if you did, and right? Only if when you look inside yourself and do that self-examination and try to be honest with yourself, only if you're fulfilling a purpose. If you're actually doing what you're built for, don't let somebody else judge that for you because they don't know. I mean, I don't even know what you've been built for, Matt. I can't tell you whether or not this is your purpose. I can tell you what I see, but that's it.
I think it's my purpose right now.
You seem to be doing well at it. I think you seem well built for it, but is it your purpose? I don't know. But I would support you either way if you decided like, no, man, I think I was meant to be a figure skater.
Never too late.
To be like, all right, well, let's try to figure out how that works.
Go all the fuck that movie with Will Ferrell and shit. That was a good movie. Yeah. So I have a question, and we'll circling back first. So I think it's very important, you highlight that this is a service industry because, like we were talking about, pen testing. Everyone's coming in. It's flashy. They want to be cool. All that, whatever. But like the other 90%, you're doing stuff and no one cares. You're supporting a business, whatever. No one says anything to you until it breaks. And then it's like all negative. So it's like you have to be in it for service. Otherwise, you will go crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think unless you want to just sell out and get rich, I can name off
a few people.
A handful of people that are well known in this industry that have done just that.
Do you think military people come into the corporate InfoSec space and help? Are they built different? I know you came from a military family, but obviously you were in other companies. You have companies. Do you think that they bring a different perspective, or like how are they different?
Yeah, I think I love our military, so I think there's always, I think military people and people in general, they're just tools. It's how you use them that makes them a good tool or a bad tool, right? I mean, take a hammer, for instance. Give a hammer to a skilled craftsman, and it's a very useful tool. You give that hammer to a toddler, they'll destroy your damn wall and probably hurt themselves, right? And so you take a military person, I think if you wanted to, you have to take the time to identify what this tool is good at, what they're used, how they provide value. And I think the things, like I said, military people that are invaluable is discipline. They do have this service mentality. I think a lot of them struggle getting into corporate America, or struggle when they get into corporate America because corporate America is a lot of bullshit.
I hear all the time, this is not the military. And a couple questions run through my head, like, what do you think the military is and why not? Like, if you're thinking about the military just being combat, then like, yeah, obviously it's not the same. But when you're not deployed, I go into the office, I sit around all day. I have people like it's the same thing. I'm just wearing a different uniform. So we don't
Yeah.
want it to be the military because you don't want to be accountable and you don't want to have integrity. Is that what we're really saying?
I think in some cases, man, because you take profitability over integrity in a lot of companies. You take profitability over following the rules and other things, because that's one of the biggest things that military folks struggle with when they get private sector jobs is the policy says this, why the hell aren't we doing that? Because in the military, when the policy says it, that's what you do. In the private sector, that's what the policy says, but yeah, we don't really do it. I mean, that was just for the last auditor, which when you think about it, it's completely unethical. So I like that sort of breath of fresh air that a military person brings to the table. But again, that's the kind of tool that I would have, right? So I would use that tool for that reason, and other reasons. But yeah, it's tough for military folks, I think, to make the transition into the private sector because I mean that's what they do too. When you go through boot camp, they take your sense of self away from you and implant a new self.
They stole my soul.
Yeah, I mean they do, right? On purpose, though,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't have time to worry about your petty problems with this or that when you're on the battlefield.
Yeah. So that's like another challenge too, right? You can lead with empathy, can lead with fear, and all these like other different leadership things. Like, I just need you to do something. I really don't care how you feel. Like, if you want to talk about it later, yeah, like let's talk about it, but I don't care how you feel right now. And that comes off as maybe not the best thing for corporate America, apparently.
And so, yeah, in some cases, man, I mean, I can see that. It's
Struggle.
in my household growing up. My father had a rule that if I have to tell you to do something, it's too late. So the fact that you had to tell me to do whatever it is you just were thinking you needed to tell me to do, I would take offense to that. Not offense to you, like I should have fucking known that already.
Mm-hmm.
But what signs did I miss? That's why when I first, I was a network, not genius, but I just really love networks. I still do. Networks were my thing. In the early '90s, and
It's all about the network.
yeah, I just really, really dug my shit. And so I took that was my purpose at that time, and I took a lot of pride in my network. My network was configured correctly. It worked. I had a lot of free time on my hands because my shit worked. It was done right the first time. I didn't have to go back and troubleshoot things. Unless there was some kind of unforeseen something, my shit always worked. And I would be offended if a user had to tell me that the network was slow. I should have already known that. Why the hell did I not know before they had to tell me? And so I think when you're purpose driven, you take more self ownership
Mm-hmm.
of what
I
I'm
agree.
good at. No, I don't need anybody to tell me I suck at my job. I know I'm sucking at my job right now. You know what I mean? I'm my own worst critic. Let me figure it out. Let me fix it. Whereas people that are not purpose driven, I think, are usually like, I don't want to do that. That's not in my job description. You
Mm-hmm.
know. So maybe that's one way you can tell the difference.
I had a similar experience, right? I was a sim guy. That was the first thing I did was build sim, seam, whatever it's called. And, I was all about the logs, visibility. Like if I saw everything, if I saw the IT guys trying to log in with a default account, I'd call them out like, what the hell are you doing? No one cared. You can catch and see everything and you ask all these questions and no one cares. And then, oh, well, we don't want to do automation. Okay. So then they decide they want to go and buy a managed service. Well, then what the fuck am I doing here? We could do automation and not even need managed service. And, I was a little bit paranoid at first because it's doing my whole first sim thing. Like, oh shit, what if we go to this managed service and all of a sudden, like, we've been compromised for like ever? But there was nothing. So it gave me extra confidence to just say, peace out.
Peace out. Yeah. So you look at people and you wonder, because there's things that I hear all the time, right? When people want to get into this industry, they want to be a pen tester. Okay, why? I mean, that's a question I wish we would ask more and more and more of everybody and ourselves. Why? Because why will bring you to the purpose. If you keep asking why, you'll find your purpose. So it's like, you want to be a pen tester. Why do you want to be a pen tester? Well,
It's
blah,
cool.
blah, blah. It's cool. I don't know. Well, if you don't know, then I guarantee you it's not your purpose. So you find that, okay, maybe it is a pen tester, that is my purpose. But what if it's not? Another thing I hear a lot is when people get in this industry is, what do you want to be when you kind of grow up in this industry? I want to be a CISO. Why?
It's what they tell you. It's what the advisors in the colleges. So like, it's this whole process. When you're in college, they're like, these are the questions you're going to get asked. You need to have an answer. You need to have a plan. Where can you be in 5 years? Most money. All right, cool. That's where I want to be. I think that's where it comes from, because I used to say it.
And money won't fulfill your purpose. I mean, it's deeper than that. Yeah, I had this dawned on me, in a
The
conversation.
angry intern doesn't want to be a pen tester. Good for
No,
him.
I don't want to be a damn pen tester either. I don't want to do incident response anymore.
Fuck that shit.
I loved it when I did it, right? There was a period of time when that was a purpose. It served, I think, a purpose to bring me to kind of where I'm at. But yeah, hell no. I'm not on call. Don't call me. It takes, if I was on your call list, call me, give me like an hour just to get out of bed, 30 minutes, take a shower, wake up a little bit, find some coffee somewhere, tell me who you are again. Who, what? I mean,
Sit rep.
yeah, we're 2.5 hours into this and I'm still like, okay, what happened again? Who clicked the, I don't understand nothing. But so that, because I think, like, okay, so here's an example of, to prove, at least not prove maybe, but support that money doesn't serve a purpose. Money isn't the purpose. I have my business partner, Kevin, whom I love dearly. I've always, I think, generally been more purpose driven than Kevin is. And it's not a comparison like one's worse than the other. I'm just saying in this context. So Kevin would always ask about money. Always, 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 man. He wanted more money. Wanted more money. And I'm the majority owner, so I got to choose. I control how much money he makes. So every time I was like, okay, what do you want? Just tell me what you want. Give me a number. And if we can do it, we'll do it. If we can't, we can't. And it was like 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I got tired of this shit. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm about ready to figure out some way to buy you out so I don't have to deal with this anymore. Because the thing is that you keep asking, let's say that it was $1 million. I pay you $1 million a year. Let's say next year, 2 years, it's 3 million, 5 million, 10 million. When is it ever going to be enough? When will you find the one thing that you're actually looking for, which is contentment? That's what you're looking for. And it's already right in front of you. You just gotta grab it. And then he fired back to me, well, that's easy for you to say. I mean, you live in this, super nice house and everything. I said, Kevin, you knew me when I was losing my house. I was content then too. That's the key, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know if it's the key, but it meant a lot to me because when I was serving my purpose, I found contentment. And it wasn't based on how much money I have. I don't want any more fucking money. I'm saying that publicly. I've said it publicly for fucking years. Stop giving me more money. It's just shitty for the mission. But it's also cool because, I had a meeting on Monday where we were talking about, the relaunch of Security Studio. And I'm like the majority shareholder there, right? And they're like, what? We've got other people that want to, that are part of the plan to be part of Security Studio. Basically, they were pussyfooting around the question, like, we want your shares. And I said, okay. They're like, what? I'm like, I'm already fucking rich. Because the rich doesn't have anything to do with the money. The rich has to do with the contentment. I'm already there. I want my friends to be rich. That's what I want. Because when you get to be rich, then you can turn around and focus on your friends being rich.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, doesn't have anything to do with money. But people think it has to do with money. I don't know why people think it has to do with money.
You're able to guide them to the contentment.
Right. I suppose. Because do you not see the same thing I do in a lot of people? Like, it's never enough. It's never enough. They continue to pursue something for what purpose? So $1 million a year. How long would that be okay with you before you were asking for 2
1
or
year, you create a
20?
new lifestyle that's based off of $1 million, and then the next year you want to do something different.
I have
It
no
don't take
idea.
long.
No, I don't know what it is. Cause like if I had $1 billion, I mean, what the fuck would I do with $1 billion, man? Other than, I don't know, build a big racetrack on some island I bought somewhere or something. I mean, it'd just be so stupid.
That zip line.
And it would be so like not purpose driven.
It'd just be fuckery, or debauchery. Yeah.
And I also think I'd have trouble sleeping at night because how would I get $1 billion if I didn't take advantage of somebody to get it?
Yeah, that'd be hard.
So I mean, that's the kind of things that, so your kids, like, let's go back to like the article, the blog post.
Mm-hmm.
We put a lot of pressure on our kids, younger folks, and to choose a career, right? Because you got to get educated, college, whatever. On one hand, I think that's a good idea because it gets them off their ass to pursue something. But we also have to, I think, what if you made the wrong choice? What if we didn't prepare you well to make that kind of choice? Because I know a lot of middle-aged people nowadays, that's what I consider myself, by the way, 54. If you call me old, fuck off.
No, I was gonna tell you I have a complaint about your website.
You think I
It
give a shit?
says click here to go to the latest blog post, and it takes me through like 3 other pages for.
So I posted the wrong thing?
No, I think it's just a routing thing on the hyperlinks. Anyways, I
So
distracted
you,
you.
so you chose the best way to handle this is probably to publicly shame me. Is that what we're thinking?
No, it probably wasn't, but
I don't care. I love you anyway, and I don't feel shamed. But yeah, most of my friends, I talk to my friends, and like Oscar, he's on purpose. We got him in the right spot. You know what I mean? Oscar for some reason just popped in my head. Drew Bokey, I mentioned him earlier.
he's cool too.
I mean, I think, as far as I'm concerned, as my friend, I think you're in the right spot. There's nothing, there's nothing obvious. It's like, hey, Matt, dude, seriously? I mean,
It's not working.
every time I talk to you, you're just really pissed off about your job. You're bitching about it, complaining about it. It's either the job or maybe you chose the wrong path, man. I don't know. Most of my friends, I think, are in a spot where, I think they're living kind of on purpose. And again, living, it doesn't mean your job. I think there's lots of people who are like, I'm thinking like Sean. There's a guy at FR Secure. His name is Sean Pollard. Fantastic dude. Has the skills for sure to continue to move up the chain, but he's found his purpose right where he's at in that one spot. Doesn't want a promotion. It's like, I am fulfilled. I love what I do for a living every single day. But he's also got a really good like work-life balance. He has like a farm at home. You know what I mean?
Sweet.
Yeah, he's got his shit together. So I always like, when I talk about purpose, I look for people to emulate a little bit, that have that kind of shit together. So I don't know, man. What advice do you have for somebody who isn't like, if you came across somebody or somebody says, hey, Matt, I need help, man. I'm doing the wrong job. I'm in the wrong career. What advice do you have for me? What kind of things would you might say to them?
I would probably start out by asking, like, why do you think it's the wrong career? Let's break this down. Like, what is working for you? What's not working for you? And then let's figure out the part that's not working for you. What would we want to change where you would be comfortable? And then, like, map that to what could balance that, whether that's being a cashier or whatever.
Yeah. I think what I would say is, fuck off. Do I look like a damn therapist? No.
I could see that.
No, I would only say that when
With
the
the
person
right
I would be
person.
saying to, yeah, they would know it was a joke. I think if you have the opportunity to go try a whole bunch of things, like you don't know what you're built for, go try a bunch of things. I mean, you won't know it oftentimes unless you experience a little bit of it. And if there's fear that's keeping you back from doing it, we'll recognize that it's look for some support, maybe to help you get over that fear. And maybe the fear is just too much that you're not going to make a change. So be it. I mean, it's your life that you're living. It's not my life, and I'm not living your life, so I can't tell you what to do. But I can tell you from this side of the equation, when you do find a purpose, it's incredibly fulfilling. Some of it, I think most of it in my life didn't happen on purpose, meaning I didn't do it. There was a purpose behind the purpose, but I don't know how it happened all the time. But I live a very content life. I'm very, very grateful for my friends. I'm very, very grateful for my wife, my dogs, my job. I feel fulfilled. I don't feel like I'm, and it all comes for me. It all came from finding that purpose, finding what I was built for. And that's what gives me, I mean, if I'm here to serve, should I not share that with other people and hope and try to encourage them to try to find the same sense of joy that I found? You know what I mean?
Find the best version of themselves.
Yeah. And if you know me, the best version of me is still pretty fucked up. I mean, seriously, there's a lot of work to do here. That's one of the things that's weird too, because I think some of the misconceptions about success are like,
Perfect. Rainbows, unicorns.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when I talk to members of there's certain conversations I've had with people over the years, and they think, well, you struggle with this too? You just seem like you had all your shit figured out. No, I do not. And I'm more fucked up than you think I am. Probably, I mean, if we were to compare fucked upness, I'm probably going to trump you on that. Not on purpose, but I think I owe a lot of the success I've had to focus on the purpose. Just, when I found what I was built for, I would have been a shitty stockbroker. Absolutely. My purpose there was greed. It was money. Well, that's just a shitty purpose. I would have done just about anything to get your money. I think in that place, bartender, obviously that was a bad choice because I'm a damn alcoholic. So that didn't work out so well, for me. Furniture installer. Yeah, I mean, it was cool. It just wasn't very, very fulfilling. It didn't give me enough mental stimulation, I think, to keep me engaged. Security guard, that was a lot of fun. I actually really like security guard. There's 3 things that if you put them in my life, bad things happen. It's if I'm bored, I have time on my hands, and I'm alone. If you know much about a security guard job, those things,
all of them.
Yeah. So even though I enjoyed it, and I think it was, pretty good at it, it was those 3 things being true too often that would have been bad.
Spent many hours just staring off into the desert. Luckily, we weren't allowed to do other stuff.
You weren't allowed to start fires or shoot things.
Maybe
a little bit. Yeah.
Depends. Let's flip this question.
All right, and then let's wrap this up, and then we'll talk about what we're going to talk about next week. We'll get back on this weekly cycle thing.
So let's flip this question. What is the industry not built for?
Industry?
Yeah. What is it not built for?
The information security industry not built for?
Yeah. Like, are we building it to create a safe place? I mean, do we have safe places for talent? Are we bringing them along? That's kind of a dumb question the way this is worded.
Yeah, I mean, I think what it's built for is for serving people, helping people protect themselves, which ultimately is managing risk. That's what it is built for. What it's not built for is selling people shit that they don't need, that doesn't work, that they can't use. So it's not built for getting rich, except for the right purposes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being filthy rich when you're serving in people's best interests. Where should people spend their next information security dollar? They should spend it on the most significant, unacceptable
newest
risk.
Firewall.
No.
Firewall.
No.
I don't think we're building career paths that make sense. I don't think we're giving people skills to handle burnout, because like if you jump in and you hit incident response, like you're fucking burnt out right away. Like, why would you want to stay?
Well, I'd love to see more. Yeah, I'd love to see more training on how to handle burnout when you reached it.
I know a guy.
Who? Oh yeah. Let's have him back again too.
Yeah.
Because that's actually what got his attention, or got your attention to get him in that one episode, was because I was in burnout again. So I've been burned. There's 3 for sure, maybe 4 times when I've been burned out in this industry, and I've learned, I should know better now.
It's just easy to slip into because it
sneaks up on you, dude.
Yeah.
It's never like I can see it coming. It's just kind of sneaks up on you, and
there's different
comes
levels of it too. That's the other thing too. Like I think right now I'm in early stage and I need a vacay.
Come on to Mexico, brother. Let's go scuba diving.
I was actually thinking about that, but I think I'm
There
gonna
you go.
try to visit a friend I never met in Toronto.
I'm a friend. Just act like you never met me before.
I know, but I'm trying to do more things. So that was one other thing I was going to add was like a couple of years ago, I was in the industry I'm working, but I wasn't doing shit. I was just letting work and life like wash over me. Now, since I admitted my drinking problem, I have a thing, I'm working through that. I'm more active, traveling, vacations, like it's just much better. Not that everyone has the same path, but like sometimes you just change one thing and then you can change the whole thing.
Dude, there's so much value in like just self-awareness and being honest with yourself. And there's a lot of people, I think, in our industry that are not that. A lot of people, there's a lot of ego. We talk about things that are broken. I think motivation for why you're here, I think, is somewhat broken. Like you shouldn't be in this industry to be famous. That's not the point. You know what I mean? When you're famous, you're serving yourself, you're serving your own ego. And there's a lot of people in this industry to get rich.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
But I would have to sell out, right? I'd have to brag about a whole bunch of things that I will have allegedly, like it brings us back to the Mark Lanterman thing.
So I follow that lawyer on LinkedIn now, and I guess Lanterman is still putting out resumes for jobs, but there's a proceeding going on right now. He's trying to transfer ownership to his son so the company can still stay on the case, and that got like shot down. It's like a whole
Yeah. Well, that was the advice too to that I assume she was a young lady. I don't know her age. From that conversation this morning is the way you navigate, I think, a lot of these things is staying true to yourself, staying true to your own purpose. And that doesn't really matter as much, if at all, what other people are doing around me, because I'm focused on what it is that I need to do to provide the service that I'm built to provide. And I will sleep well at night knowing I did a good job on that. If Matt didn't think I did a good job, I don't give a shit what Matt thinks, because I was focused on this, right? I don't give a shit if I get to get on stage at the next Black Hat conference, because that wasn't I do have to go to that, but that's not the purpose. But
I could come visit you again so you can forget about it again.
I know I forgot about that last year, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure he would be super pissed at me if that happened again.
Dude, yeah, he reached out to me, I think this morning.
Confirmation?
Just to confirm that I'm going to be there. All right, man. Great talk. Yeah, know your why. Exactly. I can't emphasize for me, and I try as much to try to figure out, like, I don't know what it's like to live in Matt's shoes, but I know how much benefit I got from knowing my why. I can't figure out why you wouldn't get the same benefit that I did, or at least some benefit on that purpose, on that why. We did that to our kids, though. I was talking to my son. I have 9 grandkids now.
Damn, you are old.
Yeah. And he knows, like, we were talking about his son and how he's in this like super curious stage. Like he's like almost 2. And how Joe is my son. And Joe is really trying to not, like, when you say something and the kid says why, to not say, well, because I said so, or stop asking why. Don't say stop asking why, but try to answer it, or maybe come alongside and like, I don't know. Because I think a lot of us, because in my background.
That's what it was growing up.
Yeah. I never asked my dad why when he gave me something to do, because that would be painful. But yeah, ask why, man. Ask why, ask why, ask why. Why am I in this job? Why the hell do I get up in the morning? Why the hell do I have this fucking phone with me everywhere I go? This evil piece of silicon, you know?
Napped them wants to chat with us at some point, help navigate. Yeah, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to. There's a link on my LinkedIn to my calendar. Set something up.
Link to my LinkedIn and my calendar.
I'm happy to chat.
All right, man, let's wrap this up. Thanks for letting me get the whole purpose. So you want to talk about the why. The why for the InfoSec to Insanity podcast is mental. I mean, behind it all, it's really mental health, man. It helps me to get things off my chest, things that I can just preach. And if people listen and get value out of it, great. If they don't, that's great too. You know, at the end of the day, Thursday nights end with me sleeping well because whatever was on my mind that time, I got it off my chest.
That's how we help bring along the new.
Yeah. And oh, man, that's a whole nother lesson. Maybe we'll talk about that wisdom and how to get it sometime. It is painful. All right, man. Whatever people do with that stuff. All right, man. All right. That's it.
Peace out. I got
That
that
was
bidet.
good.
I just didn't hook it up yet.
Yeah. I sorry it took me so long to do it.
No worries. It's all groovy. All good.